Found myself just sitting here taking in the scenery of the garage, I guess, because it started raining and I was working on my street car there, the other 9.3. So I'm just waiting for it to stop raining, and I guess this is an opportunity for a video. So the last video you saw was the full send testing, and the reason why it was so full send is because race gas was back in it, the MS-109. I put all the ignition advance back into it, some more fueling because everything flows more now with the turbine housing changes and the wastegate. Also, like, put a little H pipe between the wastegate and the exhaust just to see if I can make a cool exhaust note. And it is louder, of course. Now the wastegate kind of makes noise at idle, but you know, when the wastegate's open, I wanted to see if it would kind of harmonize and do something with the pulses. But yeah, anyway, you heard it in the last video, so tell me what you think. I just like trying stuff like that. I'm at that stage. But anyway, it was full sendy because, again, the tune was spiced up again, race gas in it, and then the slicks were on. So the A7s, and then earlier in the day I was actually bedding in some new brakes. So new rotors, new pads, not so new anymore. But yeah, I changed the alignment settings in the rear. I did a bunch of small things that would make the car faster for TMP. Also, the rev limiter was at 9,000. Never had it that high before. The reason for that is, at that track, I always run out of gear in third. So I'm on the limiter in third going 212 or 215, depending on what tires, because the diameter is a little different. So tried bumping the limiter up so I could just stay in third, because it's easier, because then I can left foot brake and I can just have both hands on the wheel, and it's a lot easier for corner entry. I tried it in the past where I'd pull fourth and then the top speed is exactly the same, but I have to brake a bit earlier because I gotta take my right foot over, put on the brake. So I like it like that at 9,000. It runs good. I mean, with a bit more power even, like, then I could pull fourth gear more comfortably and actually get some speed out of it, because third would be done earlier. But whatever, I'm just working with the setup that's there and trying to maximize it. So anyway, I've never really driven the car that hard at TMP, because every time we go there, it's just kind of, you know, to shake the car down, or if we're competing, it's in between other events where the car's already beat up. So I already know, like, you know, gearbox is gonna fail or something if I go way too hard. So the car has a pretty fresh gearbox in it from last year, so I said it's just, I mean, it's ready basically to send. So the fresh brakes and then putting the slicks on from last year, they're actually on the wear bars. Can't even see the wear bar now because it's that low. The other side's worse because that was the driver's side. But basically everything aligned so I could just abuse the crap out of the car and then see what it can do. So, and it really did some impressive stuff. So doing a 111 is no joke around TMP, and the track is actually getting worse. So there's actually more bumps than ever. I'm bouncing around more than ever. It's just like driving Sebring. I've never driven Sebring, but anyway, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, so now it's not a case of, oh, the car's ready for the year, and now I can just flip and bring it to the track and win races. I gotta do some stuff because this is an actual race car. So I'm gonna pull the gearbox off and rebuild that. I'm gonna check my pinion shaft, or output shaft, whatever you want to call it, in the ring gear, because that only lasts, it's been seeming like it lasts only 100 and like maybe 10 laps. So we did 45 already this year on this pinion, and then last year I did maybe another 30 right at the end of the year at Motorsports, when right after I rebuilt it. So it's due for a refresh. So if I'd probably go to the track, even though everything's fine and nothing's broken, I'd probably show up and then brake on lap 1 because I didn't check anything. So I'm gonna pull that off. I'm gonna see what's going on. And I got a 900 third gear set here to put in. I actually found that the teeth are stronger. So there's actually the 1.18 third gear, which is what's in the car now, and then this is a 1.12 third gear. The 1.12 actually has less teeth and deeper teeth So it's actually a much stronger gear. So this is only a little bit taller. This will take my top speed in third from 218 at 9,000 to maybe around 229-ish. And I'm doing that because Motorsport is next. And I found out I can actually drive like from turn 1 all the way to turn 4 in just third gear. So that means 2 hands on the wheel, left foot braking, better acceleration in turn 2 after the apex, a whole bunch of stuff. Might even be able to leave it in third for turn 4 as well, because I'd be at the end of the gear, but I'd be doing 225, which is flying through there. So also that makes the 3/4 shift closer, so that's good for speed, you know, like you don't fall out of there's less of a pause, so the aero drag doesn't just pull you back as much between the shift. And then yeah, so the last couple corners will be in third gear too. So pretty much I'm only using fourth gear on the back straight and maybe in turn 4, which is kind of crazy. Combined with the fact that the car has more grip because of alignment changes and whatnot, I can carry more speed through the apex, so the lower RPM won't really make much of a difference in the corners. If anything, it'll make me drive even harder because I'm listening for the same RPM, but the car's going faster for the same given RPM. So that one gear changing third from 1.18 to 1.12 might gain me like a whole second or more. So pretty excited for that. It's going to make the car suck for every other track, but if you haven't caught on already, we're trying to go very fast this year at Motorsport, which is something that really is important to me. Anyway, other than that, pull the plugs, check it. I mean, turbo is still a turbo. Has some stone or rock or sand damage or whatever on it. So I could put a new compressor reel on it just to pick up like 0.5% of efficiency again if I want. Can do a lot of things, but mainly I gotta make sure everything is good. Make sure there's no weird things coming loose. Already re-greased the ball joints and everything over the winter. Did a whole bunch of maintenance type stuff. And yeah, so this is kind of what it takes to actually get the car consistently fast, because I came up with a good analogy maybe for this, and I was telling Alex, picture this car right here and then an identical car right beside it, and the difference between the two is one is like 3 seconds faster and this one isn't. So what's the difference between them? The one on the right has, you know, the right fuel in it, the right amount of timing, the tune is dialed in, it's got new tires, it's got new brakes, it's got a refreshed clutch, gearbox, like new set of plugs. The wings are trimmed right, like it's polished, I don't know, like it's all these little things. It's got the right weight of oil, or the oil is at the right temperature or something like that. The list goes on. So there's an ideal version of the car that'll do the best lap times possible, and that's what you'd probably call a qualifying setup. And time attack is literally all qualifying. So if you don't have your stuff dialed in, unfortunately it's the most expensive thing to do ever in the sport, because buying tires and all that stuff, it like is way higher than the value of other things. But if you have your setup dialed in, that's when you're going to perform optimally, right? And that's just the car. Me, I got to make sure I'm fed right, I'm rested, you know, I'm not nervous, this, that, I'm not anxious about anything on the car, all that. So there's a lot to be had in the stuff that you can't see. So really the car has not changed much at all over winter, which is why I haven't really filmed much, but I've been working hard on the tiny stuff. So even taping stuff off like this in between the intercooler and the rad makes a difference. All sorts of stuff. So anyway, I got my work cut out for me since this last track day. To keep things tip top, I got some new front tires coming. The rears I'm not too worried about. They got a lot of compound left, but I got new fronts. Gonna make some alignment changes, the gearbox thing I was just saying. And then, yeah, there might be more that I'm forgetting, but that's all I really wanted to say. So, and I think it stopped raining, which is flipping awesome. So, time well spent making this video, I guess. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe once again, you won't be disappointed. And